Hello, welcome back. I'm in the Santa Rosa Mountains overlooking the Coachella Valley, and I want to tell you some things that I've learned about I wish there was some kind of book that you could buy that would teach you exactly what to do on the trail. There are several books that are out there, but there's not a trail rule book as such, like you'd find in a basketball rules or football rules or golf rules. When I first started hiking, I had to find out things the hard way. People corrected me on things that I weren't doing correctly. I learned a lot of things from watching YouTube videos about what to do and what not to do, as well as reading books and just finding out the hard way. But I want to give you some things that I've learned about hiking and backpacking and things to do and things not to do while on the trail. In other words, basically trail etiquette. First thing I learned was leave no trace. I mean, here you are, you're trying to get away from it all, and get back in nature and become one with nature. And you go around the corner and there's some paper, or even worse, toilet paper, right in the middle of the trail, or right off to the side of it. Put your trash in your pocket or in your backpack, and then when you get to a trailhead or you find a garbage can or somewhere you can empty the trash, empty your trash. Nobody wants to pick up your trash. Next, those that are going uphill have the right of way on the trail. It's hard enough to climb, but you need to give the person who is going uphill the right of way, and if you're going downhill, then just step off the side of the trail or give way to the person that's going uphill. Next, give way to faster hikers. Everybody hikes at a different pace. If someone is behind you and they're catching up to you at a quick pace, just stop, get off the side of the trail, and let them pass you up. As I've always said, hiking is a marathon, not a sprint. Give the right of way to bicyclists and horse riders. Don't be rude and just say, hey, they can just go around me. Be courteous and give them the right of way. Along the same line, let equestrians know that you're there. That's a fancy name for horse rider. Horses spook real easy, and so let the rider know that you're there, and don't jump out and spook the horse. You may regret it. Another thing I learned is don't block the trail. If you and your hiking partner are going to stop and talk, get off the trail and let other people go by. If you're going to stop and take a break, make sure that you're way off the trail so that people are going on the trail can go by you without being inconvenienced. Another rule of etiquette: if you got to go to the bathroom, make sure that you go far enough off the trail that you won't be discovered accidentally. There's nothing worse than going around the corner and either seeing a fountain flowing or seeing a full moon setting. Next, use earphones when you listen to audio, music, podcast, whatever. Contrary to popular opinion, yours, not everybody wants to listen to your type of music. And even though you may be moved to tears by this podcast that you're listening to, not everybody wants to listen to the same thing. I have an app on my phone that has the Bible on it, and so I listen to it a lot when I'm hiking. But you know, I realize it's not fair to other people. They may not want to listen to what I listen to. And that includes religious music or sermons or whatever. And so when I go hiking, I have an earphone that I put in my ear. Another thing that I learned as far as trail etiquette is concerned that has to do with wearing earphones. Only wear one earphone in your ear. I can't tell you how many times that I've walked up on somebody and they had both earphones in their ears listening to something and was oblivious that I was even behind them. I learned this lesson while I was hiking in the desert on the PCT. I know a guy that just about stepped on a rattlesnake because he had both earphones in his ears and he couldn't hear the rattlesnake rattling and warning him, and he almost stepped on it. I think that's how he got the trail name Dangerous. Another thing I learned is not everybody wants to be in your videos or your pictures. If you're vlogging your hike or just taking pictures and videos in general, make sure that everyone that you take a picture of doesn't mind you taking their picture. Just simply stop and just say, hey, listen, I'm vlogging my trip. Do you mind being in my video? And most time, people are nice and say, no, I don't mind. But be sure and ask them beforehand and not after the fact. Another thing, speak to people when you pass them on the trail.
Howdy, howdy.
Hello, how are you?
Good.
And answer people when they speak to you. Sometimes when you're on a long distance hike, you don't see people for a long time. When I was on the PCT, there was a section that I didn't see anybody for 5 days. So when I finally saw someone, I think I stopped and talked to him for about a half an hour. Now I understand a lot of times we're in a hurry, got to make the miles, the sun's going down, trying to get to a particular campsite. I understand all that. But there's nothing to just stopping and saying, hi, how you doing? I think there's something to that. This next one is for any hiker, but especially a through hiker. Whenever you go into a trail town, realize that there are others coming after you, and whatever people in that trail town think of you, that's what they're going to think of other people that come after you. Realize that you are an ambassador for that trail. Again, whatever people think of you, they're going to think of everyone that is on that trail. I always tried to leave the motel room, the restaurant, wherever I went into a trail town. I always try to leave it in better shape than it was when I got there. When you go into a trail town, you go into a restaurant, make sure to leave a good tip. Their livelihood depends upon seasonal hikers that come through and seasonal visitors. And so realize that. And again, people will appreciate that. Whenever you get to a campsite and you're with other people, let them have the best campsite. More times than not, I would always say, where do you want to camp? The Bible says, in honor, preferring one another. Nobody likes to hike or backpack with a rude selfish person. If you're camping with other people, respect their schedule. There's a popular term that's used in backpacking, and it's called hiker midnight. And it's not at 12 o'clock midnight. Hiker midnight is actually 9 o'clock. Toward the end of my PCT journey, I was going to bed at 8 o'clock and getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning and getting on the trail by 5. And because of that, I was sometimes the first one into camp and the first one to bed. Many times people would roll in, and most of the time they were respectful, but not always. I tried to make people aware that I got up early in the morning and that I would try to be as quiet as I could when I left. And by the way, I tried to be as quiet as I could. Well, these are just a few things that I've learned in my backpacking career. And really and truly what it all boils down to is to be considerate and kind to other people. That's what etiquette is basically all about, including trail etiquette. And that is treating other people the way that you'd like to be treated. Hey, leave me a comment down in the comment section below if you have any questions. Reach out to me and I'll try to answer those questions as soon as I can. Leave me a comment in the comment section below about some trail etiquette things that perhaps maybe I left out. Maybe it'd be a help to somebody else in the trail community. Until next time, I'll see you down the trail. Hey,
the hills are alive with the sound of music.